India Today has the biggest and the most experienced team of reporters on ground from Mumbai to Delhi to Guwahati. Take a look on your television screens. I have Paulami joining me, I have Nalini joining me, Vidya and Pankaj on this big story. We'll go to our reporters for the latest developments. This Maharashtra political drama continues to get murkier by the day. This fight between Uddhav Sena and the Shinde Sena, it's raging in courts, it's raging on the ground, and there is this bitter war of words. It's a war of the narratives. In midst of this, Union Minister Balasaheb Thackeray has made a big claim. He said the MVA government is on its last legs and that they would sit in the opposition in just a couple of days. Now, attacking the rebel faction, Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut said that these 40 rebel MLAs who are in Guwahati currently, they are a zinda lash. What does that mean? He's of course clarified that aspect of being a zinda lash. Is that a threat, as some in the rebel camp seem to argue? He went on to say that the post-mortem of these soulless bodies will be done directly in the assembly. Countering Raut, rebel faction leader Eknath Shinde said if they have to die to save Balasaheb Thackeray's Shiv Sena legacy and the ideology of Hindutva, they would do so. They would consider it their honor. Launching a scathing attack on the NCP, Shinde asked how can Balasaheb Thackeray's Shiv Sena support someone who has a direct connection with Daud Ibrahim, who killed innocent Mumbaikars in the 1993 Mumbai blast. Incidentally, more than 257 innocent Mumbaikars were killed in the 1993 Mumbai serial blast. More than 700 were injured. And I quickly now want to cut across to India Today's team of reporters on this aspect. Vidya, the fact that Sanjay Raut says, ye zinda lash hai, is that a threat?
Well, it's certainly a threat, but remember, this is the language that Shiv Sena has always used. Shiv Sainik, especially, Bal Thackeray himself has used such languages which his followers have, of course, used at times like crisis like this, that, such words do come out of most of the Shiv Sainiks that we have heard. In fact, a lot of threat has already been meted out in the last 4 to 5 days that we were there outside Shiv Sena Bhavan. Most of the Shiv Sainiks use such languages, saying that let those people come, we'll show them what it is, what a true Shiv Sainik is. The fact that Sanjay Raut, when he said these words, the people who he was addressing laughed and enjoyed the entire, whatever he was saying. So it certainly goes on to show that, according to the Shiv Sainik, it's really nothing much. And but of course, the kind of language that is being used would certainly, is quite questionable compared to people when, rest of the Mumbaikars have been asking what is this being said about the MLAs.
Okay, and interesting that he should ask, Paulami, Eknath Shinde should ask, how can Balasaheb Thackeray's Shiv Sena be with those who sided with Daud Ibrahim Kaskar, considering he himself was a part of the same alliance for close to 2.5 years?
That's right. In fact, many questions that are being posed by Eknath Shinde through his Twitter handle, one of the latest being, how can you sit side by side with Chakhan Bhujbal in the government, someone who had put Balasaheb Thackeray behind bars? And that is a question which is being asked by former Shiv Sena MLA Subhash Samne. A video bite again tweeted out by Eknath Shinde. Yesterday, of course, he tweeted about the fact that how can you join hands with those who have direct links and connections with Daud Ibrahim, who was responsible for killing Mumbaikars in multiple and serial blasts in the city of Mumbai. So what Eknath Shinde is doing over here, Gaurav, is clearly trying to build a perception that this Mahavikas Aghadi is an absolutely unnatural alliance. It's an unholy alliance, that the Shiv Sena should have gone and joined hands with the NCP and the Congress, who are not its natural ideological partners. In fact, some of these parties have in fact opposed the Shiv Sena tooth and nail, and even in fact been behind some of the arrests made in the Shiv Sena, actions taken against the Shiv Sena and Shiv Senics in the past. So he's building a perception, saying these are the wrong partners, and I've been saying so, and the right partners for us to be in government with would be the Bharatiya Janata Party. Gaurav.
Interesting, because Rao Sahab Danve Patil, and I want to bring in Ritvik Bhalekar also, who joins us on the broadcast. Ritvik, how is Rao Sahab Danve Patil's statement being taken that this government is now on its last legs?
Yes, we can see that since last whole week, the political crisis which is happening in Maharashtra, none of the BJP leaders utter a word. They have not given any reaction on it. But now, after Shinde camp has approached Supreme Court and challenged the appointment of whip leader of group by Uddhav camp, and the objection and the rejection taken for the disqualification of the MLAs, a senior most leader from BJP and Central Minister Rao Saheb Danve's statement stands very important. What he's saying is, after approaching the Supreme Court, all the things, all the steps taken by the Uddhav camp are gonna challenge, and they'll be not be withstanding on the terms of laws. So we'll really have to say what Supreme Court has to say about the thing which Shinde camp is telling them, and also will the proceedings which are happening in Maharashtra Assembly are going to challenge, can Supreme Court overrule that, and what next Uddhav camp will be going to do. Gaurav.
Very, very interesting, and the question remains, with each passing day, is Uddhav Thackeray actually getting weaker? Uddhav Thackeray, incidentally, is to address his party workers this evening. That would be around 6 o'clock in Guwahati. But what is the Uddhav Sena or the Shiv Sena's strategy? They're using the Deputy Speaker's office. Why are they using the Deputy Speaker's office? To dangle the disqualification sword. It's only on 16 now. If 16 are disqualified, what happens to the others? Will they come rushing back? Will they actually put pressure on the 39 Shiv Sena MLAs, or at least a majority of them, so that they come back to the Shiv Sena fold? At least that's their aim. They are saying, and Sanjay Raut has said it in as many words, there are others who've said it, that while Uddhav Thackeray was having a meeting with Sharad Pawar at Matoshri, they were in touch with at least 10 Shiv Sena MLAs who are currently in Guwahati. So their aim is to secure them, to get them back to Mumbai, offer them to leave the camp of Eknath Shinde. Now, what is it that Shinde Sena intends to do? The Shinde Sena is actually trying to get the rebels, they're trying to get the loyalists of Uddhav Thackeray to come to their camp. Stage a public show of strength. Press, perhaps even for dissolution of the assembly if it doesn't work out in their favor. But use BJP's support to the hilt is the strategy of the Shinde Sena. Because the Shinde Sena say they have the numbers, they are the real Shiv Sena. Why are they claiming to be the real Shiv Sena? They say of the 55 Shiv Sena MLAs, 39 or maybe even 40 are with them. They also have the support of at least 9 independent MLAs as of now. More support is coming their way. Deepak Kesarkar, the Rebel Shiv Sena MLA, has said that there will be a group that will be at least 53 to 55 strong on their own. They are legally challenging the Deputy Speaker's writ, saying it's bad in law. 2 independent MLAs had already moved for having no confidence in the Deputy Speaker. How could he then issue a notice of disqualification for 16? And they've taken this fight to the Supreme Court. They are saying that we are the real Shiv Sena, we have the real numbers, is what the Shinde Sena say, and they're waiting for a more opportune moment for their show of strength to prove that the Uddhav Thackeray government is actually in a minority. Use the numbers to the hilt. Their biggest challenge remains to ensure that numbers stay with them.